Hey, how's it going? It's the Adept. We're here with the Tide 49. It's a pretty exciting keyboard for me. I like the idea of going smaller, but I never wanted to give up all of my alpha keys, even though I can try to give up the numero. Although, you know, having the numpad would be a better trade-off. But yeah, for like a travel keyboard, I think this might be a really good... Hey, what's going on, End of Greatness? How are you? I think this might be a really good keyboard. Let's go ahead and open her up. Boom. Instruction manual. Pretty extensive instruction manual, I think, because it has some basic via instructions in it. The keyboard, very well packaged in here, which we'll come back to in a little bit. And then our accessory box. That is everything in here. Put the phone back in here. Close her up. Aside from hanging out with me, you got anything going on today, End of Greatness? Inside here we have two replacement switches. These switches are the Epomaker Zebra switches. They're a pre-lubed box switch with an actuation force of 45 grams and your pretty standard palm stem nylon bottom and polycarbonate top in a black and white, obviously, because zebra. Screwdriver, which is a Phillips head screwdriver, and an Allen key, which I think will be able to open the entire keyboard, and a rubberized USB A to C cable. Then a keycap and switch puller. That's a good start. I like the fact that they include a couple spare switches just in case there's a bad switch, and keycap and switch puller, so that if there is a bad switch and you want to replace it, you already have it. This is the keyboard itself. It comes pre-built and it already has hairs on it. And it comes with this dust cover, if that is a thing that would appeal to you. Yeah, so let's take a look, or rather, let's take a quick listen. Actually pretty nice out of the box. There are only 3 stabilized keys in the keyboard. That's the 2 sides of the spacebar as well as this shift. This shift is not stabilized, obviously, nor is the inner or backspace key. There is a middle key that is by default also configured to be a spacebar. I have been playing around with this a little bit. Let's take a look at the rest of it. So the back is interesting. You have your USB-C over here. There is an on-off switch, so that's actually pretty nice for being a travel keyboard. You can turn it on, and it lights up. Then go ahead and reset it. There's your rainbow. The RGB on here is actually pretty nice, especially considering those zebra switches, which have a black top and no black top, right? I think, and no light diffuser in them. Continuing to look at the back, there is the USB 2.4 dongle, which is a 1000 hertz polling rate, 2.4 gigahertz dongle, which is the same as the USB. There is a bit of flare here with this dip in the middle of the bottom weight. Aside from that, it is a sort of basic box-on wedge. It is really thick though. I assume that's to try to let some of the gasket performance come out. I don't know if you saw, but there is a decent amount of flex. Not that much though. And then we have this aluminum accent piece on the back, which we will peel. It's very appealing. Which has their information, made in China. It has a 3000 milliamp hour battery. Needs 1 amp, 5 volt, so that's fine. It calls itself a 40%. However, again, a true 40% would lack these 6 keys here normally, which is one of the reasons why I like this. Because I don't like giving up these keys, and it makes it a lot easier for me to deal with layers, which is we'll get to later, and we'll need to because these become your numbers. Easier to deal with layers if it has these extra keys, in my opinion. So with that being the whole keyboard. Oh, by the way, the front height, I was talking about it being kind of a chunker. It's a 21.8 front height with a 29.4 back height, and that is going to be this height from here to here, and this height from here to here, which give it an overall typing angle of about 5 degrees, which is kind of low for me, but certainly usable. Because of its short height, you don't want to bump it up too much. And if you want to, you could do that with some tall keycaps. Although, I mean, if you did tall keycaps, you would really be kind of up here. The keycaps I had in mind for the build today is, or rather are, we have wisteria switches, and then I was going to go with either Keikobo or Kikobo Abyss, or if I wanted to stay with die sub PBT, putting Spellbook on it. I have cloned Spellbook because Spellbook itself through Novel Keys is no longer available anywhere. So I had given my set to a friend when he got his first new computer in a decade. It's a purple beige set, so I'm not sure if we're going to use that. I think that Kikobo Abyss is going to be the better choice. But I was also thinking about trying this plateless. That being said, let's take a look. Oh, I forgot to restart my music. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and begin opening her up. Let's see. Not correct. Are you too small? You're too small. Break out my little toolkit. See if I have the right bit in here. My main toolkit is downstairs because I am working on my 3D printer. So here's to hoping. I think that's a little big, and then I have a little small, so indeed not. So we'll just use the tools that came with it. Oh, wait. Pass. I have all kinds of weird extra dimensional spaces right here. Where's the box? Oh no, where's the... It's got its own tools. Let's use them. So here we go. Allen wrench. There we go. There are only 4 screws keeping this thing together, but that's not unusual considering that it is so small. One's out, one's not. Okay. One side is done. Cat hair. And 1. Come on, there you go. forgot to open up my YouTube in case anybody on YouTube wants to chat. And it dropped. So we should be able to now flip this over. Get our screws out. There they are. 1 and 2. They use the same screws. And then we should be able to just lift up the top. This 6063 aluminum. And then there is an FR4 plate in here. So keeping this thing together, let's go ahead and flip it up and show you. There is a JST connector, which needs to be removed. And then there is the battery connector, which also needs to be removed. Once you've removed both of those, you can lift out the keyboard and put this back on top. So, in the bottom, you have a PET sheet, which attaches to the pour-on foam that attaches to the bottom of the PCB. And so it acts as a type of tape mod. And it does not want to release nicely. I don't know. Well, I guess I'm going to have to. If I'm going to take this thing apart, we are definitely going to have to. So move you to the side. Move you to the side. You two are not helping me today. Take a drink. This one goes out to my homies. I will not be pouring one out for them because I'm in my office. That just gets messy. Right, I just had it. And it's right in front of me. Okay. Let's go ahead and remove the keycaps. The keycaps, which are die sub PBT. Let's get a measurement. .4 millimeters thick, die sub PBT, which is good. 1.5 or better would be better, but 1.4 is good. As you could hear, it sounded pretty good. I don't really have any problem with the switches out of the box. They are perfectly reasonable switches. I would probably not, if it were mine, and oh, this keyboard was sent to me by Epomaker for the purposes of review. Obviously, they have no idea what I'm going to say because I have no idea what I'm going to say. I do not script my streams. Although, if they were to have told me things about it, like on the Linky 87, where Fox told me about the Afro, which they did special tuning on, I will relay that information to you. But that's, oh, actually this, oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Oh no. Where's my shift key at? Where's my shift? Here. Are you the same size? Are you the same key? You are. You punk. Okay, we may need to sub a key when we put in this because the most sets will only come with one of each size shift key. So for us to use a different keycap set, we'll have to sub a key on one or the other sides. You'll notice these are plate mount stabs. They were pretty good out of the box. And there is no option for PCB mounting your stabs in this keyboard, so you are stuck with plate mount. But like I said, these are pretty good. I thought I had... Oh, they're downstairs. If I decide that I need to change out these stabs, I can always put in... I have some Designer Studio plate mount stabs that I can put in if I feel that these develop a rattle. Anyway, like I said, Epomaker recently had on their Discord that they were looking for some new long-term collaborators, and I reached out to them and said I would love to do some collaborations with you, and they asked what I was interested in, and I said the Tide49 because it doesn't look like a whole lot of people are looking at it, and I like the idea of a 40%, like I said, with the with all of the alphas, not numpad or not num row, not function row, just all the alphas. No arrow keys either, but you know, nothing's perfect. So you can see the gaskets here. They're standard sock gaskets. Hey, look. That is exactly what I wanted to see. Because we're going to run a plateless first. This has a PET sheet, a PE sheet, as well as pour-on plate foam, which we will be removing for the purposes of this first experiment. Now, I might rebuild it again with foam and with other switches. But for my first build, plateless, why not? Again, the switches we're going to be using for this first build are the HMX and Finicky collab first encounter switches, which are some of my current switch du jour. I liked them so much I ordered myself another whole set, and these came in just the other day. And I'm like, well, it's like the first encounter switches came in, and then the next day the Tide came in. Get it? The Tide came in. And I'm like, well, it's fate. So So we went and saw the Thunderbolts yesterday, and let me just say, if you have not seen the Thunderbolts yet, it's a treat. It's very much getting back to some good Marvel storytelling. If you like Marvel storytelling. So, I mean, as with any action film, take everything with a grain of salt. It's an entertainment thing. And not for nothing, but I mean, Yelena, the Yelena character as well as the Red Guardian character are just amusing as all get out. Those actors really, they really bring it. I actually am looking forward to a number of the Marvel projects in phase whatever they're in now, moving into the next phase. I mean, can Sebastian Stan carry his own movie or TV show? I don't know. But he entertains me. And that's really all I'm looking for from a Marvel movie. I would like to see Yelena and Wong interact. That would be fun. So this should have the added benefit of giving us some additional RGB glow. Because without the plate foam, it's going to, and with them being kind of a milky color, it's going to grab and reflect light a lot better. We'll see if we have to do a force break. I don't know. If anybody's around, let me know if you think I should do a force break before I put it all back together. I guess it doesn't take that long. Okay. We're going to put our foams and sound modifiers off to the side. Go ahead and bring this back. Take the lid back off. Again, when you're connecting it back up, there's two connections. One is going to be for the battery. They are both JST, which I am happy about after my recent stint of having to deal with Molex Quick Connects, which, you know, are sucky. And then we'll put it back together, install our keycaps, which again today we're going to start off with KKB Abyss, because Tide, Abyss, they work. I like good themes, like theming, and I think putting Tide keycaps on or Tide or Abyss keycaps on a Tide keyboard, good crack. That's right, I say good crack. I'm not Irish. Can't tell it, but I have red hair. When I have hair, it's red. Hello, Enix. How are you doing today? We're just doing our first rebuild on the Tide49. We have looked at it just to kind of give you What is that now? What fresh heck is this? And we'll figure it out later. Box on wedge. Chunky boy from the front. 21.8 millimeter front height. I'm doing all right. I'm very excited by this because it's a 40%, but has the entire alpha sans the numero, which is one of the things that I always struggle with on 40%. When I use 40%, which isn't often because of certain things like this. This is the KKB Abyss that we're going to use for this first build. And I think that this will go well. The other switches that I was looking at to build this with today are let's see. Because this is an Epomaker board, I pulled out my old Wisteria switches, which I've spring swapped to make them a little bit heavier because the ones I got were like 35 gram actuation. Ugh. Girlfriend loves them. I do not. That definitely has more flex. So I was just talking about Marvel movie projects, you know, as I was putting this thing back together for the first rebuild. Saw Thunderbolts, thought it was really good. Recommend it to anybody who wants to see a good movie. Because I don't think that that movie is getting the props it deserves. And again, Marvel film, so you get out of it what you put into it. Oh, I just noticed that my stream on the screen actually combines my Twitch conversation with my YouTube conversation, which is pretty fab. All right, pretty much everything I need should be on the second row. You, oh, except for that shift key. Oh, because it's the wrong shift key. Wonder. You are not. Do I need you here? I do not. but not least, okay. It's a wee bit off. But it works. Except there's something on the inside of this thing now. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, look at that. That is like crazy RGB now. Crazy sauce. Yeah, this is like, for those of you who weren't here at the beginning, this is like 5 times brighter than it was with the Zebra switches, because the Zebra have the black top, no light diffuser. And these are basically milky switches, and I've taken out the plate foam. So yeah, it's just coming through on all angles. Let's go ahead, let's put you off to the side, and let's go ahead and do a sound test. Pause the music. Yeah, I mean, actually, that doesn't sound bad at all. There's no hollowness to it. The bounce is really nice now with the absence of the plate foam and the PE foam. It's a little high pitched for me personally, but not bad. I gave them up for Lent. Yes, the num row, the F row. But I have these 6 keys here. So, bonus. Again, it's one of the things I like about this particular keyboard is that it's a 40% that has the entirety of the alpha set without the num row. So, if I need numbers, I am going to be going here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, dash, underscore, plus, minus. So that's everything here. Then if I want my function row, F1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 10, 11, 12. So we have our entire function row here with the middle function, all the numbers with this function. And then I am going to be setting up my print screen, home, page up, delete, page end, and page down right here. And then from here, this will become my down volume, up volume, mute, stop, play, and previous and next. So, and then these four here control the wireless. Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, I mean, I have the Ola. Let me grab one of those. So I have the Ola Plus actually, and just as an example of what an alternate layout 40 looks like, imagine without the numero. So as you see here, well, on mine, the Ola actually has both of these keys. I've assigned this to arrows. But I'm actually changed that recently, so I need to update this. But yeah, so one of the problems I have is that in order to go, I need to remember that shift function this is my question mark. I also have an elongate, which is similar to this, but actually has an arrow cluster, which is kind of better, but is a fully 40 with an arrow cluster and a numpad. It's a great board. It's a shame that they don't make them, or that company isn't around anymore. But yeah, so this is our first build. I like it. It's so interesting, this key compared to this key, which is essentially the same key. I forget what switches I have in here. Let's see. They are the same switches. This is die-sub PBT, Win Mix, or not die-sub, double shot PBT, Win Mix keycaps, as opposed to the ABS double shot of the Kikobo. Obviously, double shot is not coming into play here. Quick strength break. One down. I brought spares. The Cosmic Sands, are you talking about the font, or are you talking about these keys? I like these keys, don't get me wrong. These are also double shot. They're 1.4 millimeter, so they're not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I'm the middle center mounted font kind of messes with me, and I don't really get why they have the multicolor. But the profile is definitely a little off. I don't know if we can see this. Let's unbury you. Can you see on camera how it's just a little bit forward from the other keys? So that is going to be, somebody was asking me the difference. So the whole key is pushed a little forward. as far as how it's designed, which makes, I don't know if it makes sense, because I think they're supposed to be cherry. But I was also going to try Spellbook on here, but I think I want to refoam it up, because it's me. I'm going to put foam in it. But the keycaps that were on here were on the Ola are in Aqua Dolce, I think. Like I said, from WinMix. And who chose not to sponsor me? You back here for now. I think the other set is going to be better, partially because I think I'll be able to get left and I'll be able to get all the keys. I think because I'm going to put Spellbook on here next with the first encounter switches. But I'm also going to put the foam back in. So this will be kind of an entirely different experience, because it'll have foam and it'll have dye sub PBT keycaps. You go here. Does anybody have any questions about this keyboard? Again, it's a... oh, hey, I was looking for you before. You're not the right key. Yeah, anyway. I guess I wasn't looking for you before. This was sent to me by Epomaker as part of a collaboration that they're doing through their Discord. And just so you knows, but I don't even script anything, so it's obviously they didn't have any say in what I'm saying. I have tried other Tide keyboards before, and I was not impressed. They weren't bad. They just weren't great. Put you back in the wrong place. That's why you're not there. And one to grow on. So I can put this away for now. You may be back later. Ooh. You know what? You know what's gonna have all the right keys that we might try that will look fantastic on here? It's another... Oh, we're totally doing it. Drop DCX Cyber. I bet would look great on here. Let's do that. So my 5 current viewers, amuse yourselves for a second. I need to run downstairs and grab Drop DCX Cyber. I will drop that off at the same time. I will turn the music back on so that you guys can have music while I'm gone. I will be right back. Oh no, I lost two viewers while I was gone. All right, so drop DCX Cyber. Exciting. I think that's going to be fantastic. So I was trying to think of what was the next keyboard I was going to order. I was going to order a keyboard today. And I think the QWERTY Keys Duo is out of my price range, unfortunately, because that's like $350 plus whatever tariff shipping is, and gosh knows what. So, trying to think what is a good keyboard to get. I'm still thinking the Agar, even without the EC kit. And if the EC kit becomes available, I'm wondering if I can just get that later if it comes back up, because that would be the way to go if that were the case. Because I want the EC, I want the Agar, but I want it with the EC kit, because I don't really have an HHKB right now. So getting an HHKB kind of interests me for no other reason than I like collecting keyboards. That's interesting. So if we're going to force break it, we could break it here, 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 and here. If that were a thing that we wanted and or needed to do. As of right now, I don't see that as being a thing that needs to be done. Alright, HMX switches. Need you guys to behave and come out so I can put your phone back in. What I'm doing is the Tide49 by Epomaker. I built it with the HMX Finicky's First Encounter switches with KKB Abyss, but the KKB Abyss didn't have quite all the right yeah, you seen, that's what I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. You're cool. I think there's a delay with my YouTube stream, so y'all get this like 10 seconds after I actually said it, so there could be a delay in responding. But again, Tide49, it's a 40%, but has the entire alpha cluster, so everything but the num row that is in the main keyboard. And then ooh, but I will have to find something. What's up, Nick? How's it going, man? Very exciting. Doing a 40% of all things. I've already done the initial review, the initial sound test, which was good. You don't need to do all this stuff that I'm doing to it. Like, even the stabs, which are still the stock stabs, are not, they're not pinging. So, I'm putting everything back in for my next build, which is going to be with the foams back in, because I did a my initial build actually was, or initial rebuild I guess I should say, was actually foamless. I know, me doing a foamless build. Who'da thunk it? But now it's time to go back where I belong. Alright, up. So the foams involved with this keyboard are, there is a, on the bottom, just to show you, for those of you who did not see this previously, there are two JST connectors, one for the battery, one for the keyboard daughter board, which also has the on-off switch on it. Then you have this thick PE T sheet, which is glued to a Poron sheet, so the combination of these two being glued to the, I'm at home. I have a home office that I use for these. We converted our second bedroom into a guest room / home office / game, whatever. Like, you can see behind me a very tiny part of my role-playing game collection, keyboard. I've got all of my nerdy paraphernalia on the shelf behind me, including the miniatures that I paint myself. Yeah, I am possibly one of the nerdiest people you will ever meet. Don't bend. I think I just bent a pen. you. Did I bend them? Yes, I did. Did you bend it? Yes, you can. Okay, let's try that again. I have not seen your room, but I'm a ton of Iron Man stuff that fits a human. That's cool. Now, are we talking MCU Iron Man, or are we talking comic book Iron Man? Because I'll be honest, when it comes to Marvel versus DC, I'm a Marvel guy, but I'm an X-Men fan. I did not care for comic book Avengers. I didn't read them growing up. I only read X-Men, or X-Men, and the X offshoots, X-Force, Excalibur, etc. So, is that so it's over there. If I reach 10 subscribers on my Twitch channel, I will be giving away the Linky 87 by Electfox. If anybody is interested, this includes Amazon subs or whatever. I don't know if that's anything you guys would be interested in. I know right now my most of my conversations come in from over on the YouTube channel, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, because I knew the Iron Man story from the comics, and when you look at the stuff that Tony Stark had gone through, combined, and you think about the stuff that Robert Downey Jr. had gone through and come out on the other side, and just the look of them, especially like at the beginning of the Iron Man series. My Twitch account is theadept024, all one word. Is where I'm at on Twitch. But it was like almost typecasting. More so than the what is his name? More so than Samuel L. Jackson being typecast as Nick Fury, because the Nick Fury character that was in the MCU or the Marvel comics at the time when Samuel L. Jackson was cast as him was actually patterned after Samuel L. Jackson. So that's not really typecasting so much as being written, like having a part written for you. Because before that, it was a white guy. As a matter of fact, it was played by Nick Fury was originally played by David Hasselhoff in a movie. I don't know why there is a delay in my chat. I have been steadily trying to work on my stream tech. I've only been streaming for a few months now. So I assume it's something that I am doing wrong. There does not seem to be as much of a delay on my Twitch stream as there is on my YouTube stream. I use Slobs for it, Streamlab OBS. And maybe that's a factor. It could be, I mean, it could be anything. It's not the latency of my internet. I have great latency. I have strong signal. I don't really do much else. I guess I do have a Plex server, but I'm obviously not watching anything on Plex right now. So it could be anything. Now, did you design the Iron Man suit? And when you say it fits a human, do you fit in it? Or is it just like a prop? Like, I've seen people have like stormtroopers, like the $3,000 stormtrooper suits that are just basically standees. All right. But let's talk about Drop DCX Cyber. And why I think that it'll be perfect for this build. Because look at that. That's such a rich color. I think that it does have some of the extra keys we're going to need. We're still going to end up having to use this. Oh, wait, no. No, we've got that control, I think. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. Different drop DCX sets have different abilities. So let's see what we've got here and what we can use. So we've got this. Not you. You are short. Never mind. So yeah. So then we've got this, and we're going to use this for over here. Not bad. I'm experimenting to see what I can put in here, but let's see if it's going to work for me. I need an alt. I'm going to put shift in there for no good reason. Yeah, this one doesn't have as good a kitting as I was hoping it would. I thought it had better. But we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. We're going to do page up over here. And do a page down over there. Ooh, looks like the weather's changing. Again, some more. Just to give some sort of symmetry to it. Got that. So this is also an ABS set. It's a slightly different composition. The keys on these are much smoother than the KKB Abyss switches that or keycaps that we were using before. I think I said switches before too. Something. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, you fit. You're perfect. You are perfect, little tab. Do I do anything other than fixing keyboards? Or do you mean like streaming wise? Because right now, it's all keyboard related. This today is an unboxing, and then I did a breakdown earlier, kind of went over what was inside, and then now I'm doing a couple of rebuilds to kind of see how different switches, different keycap combinations look and feel on it. At the very beginning I did a stock test. So now we're going to do a quick test with this. My name is Chris, or the Adept. I will also answer pretty much any question about keyboards that you might have if I have that knowledge within my brain. But first, let's do a quick sound test. Okay. There it is. You need keyboard stabs lube, but it's solder. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. I think Divinity, who's local to the US, has syringes that I would just get that. You can try this, and that is because stabs are much more tolerant. So what I do as a quick fix is I just put a glob on here. And then I take some tweezers. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess up my feng shui on here yet. And I put some in, and then I drop the stab down and pull it out. So it basically just puts some on the inside, and then as you move it, it will hopefully move it around some. And then I do the same thing. I will remove these keys and these keys, and then I'll go in from the other side, which is much easier because it's low. So you can do that with a glob of, and then you can actually just lift this up. And if it's the sides that are rattling, you can actually just paint it here, and then you're done. So that's an option. If you have lube but don't have a syringe and you want to just try it. What do y'all think about this sound? I think it's pretty nice. I still think that we're gonna go with Spellbook, and I say that because oh no, that's wrong. And I say that because I think while I don't always go for beige, and I'm not gonna change out the switches unless y'all think I should. I don't always go for beige on black. Some people like it. It's all right. But I do go for... Uh-oh. Trying to have all the right keys in the right spots. And I think Spellbook is the set that will let me do that. Well, thank you. I appreciate that sentiment. I really do try to do my craft as well as I can. I don't have the... I haven't been around nearly as long as Alex or certainly not some of the other content creators, but I think that I do pretty well. Although they have a different sound from me. If you go to twitch.tv/theadept024, you can give me a follow. And then if you have Amazon Prime, you can also give me a Prime sub, which is free. And again, if I reach 10 subs, and I think I'm at like 3 now. I think I'm at 3. So if I reach 10, I'm going to give away a keyboard. If I reach then 25, I will give away another keyboard from my collection that I've collected over the years. So the Linky is stock. It is almost, I got it as a review unit from Electvox, and they were kind enough to let me keep it. I told them that I was going to give it away on my stream if I reached so many subs, and they're like, that's awesome. And I think that it is an awesome keyboard. Even if you don't win it, if you or one of your... if you're looking for a good TKL travel keyboard, lightweight, ABS plastic, but like serious thock, like marbly thock. Like I brought that keyboard to the last meetup, and Nick, they thought that I had modded it. That's how good that keyboard was, stock. Oh, that's cool. I do not have a public Discord. I spend all my time on Keybroke. And Stupid Bullets Tech. Those are my favorites. Recently, I've started hanging out with the community on Clackbait, as well as on Epomaker. So now this is gonna be fun. Like I said, I'm not sure about the beige, but what I am sure about is that it's going to have a key for everything I need. Because not only does it have things like 2 shifts, 1 beige. Wait, oh, I did that wrong. And then I just kept pushing. Not only does it have 1 beige, which I am going to put on the other side. Come back. Of course, now it's gone forever. Technical difficulties. Hold, please. We'll come back to that. We're going to put purple on the side. Yeah. So it has the beige and the purple keys for shifts, so I will have both of my proper shifts. It does have your... But it has all these accent keys that I'll be able to use. So that is what we'd be doing. I could actually... Ooh. I mean, look at that. It's got the proper inner key. Still need to go find that shift. All right. Yeah, we'll just have to come back to it. Okay. But it also has, I think, it might be my full runaway. Yes, that's my full-size runaway. But it has all these accent keys. Got these 2. I don't have... so we're going to go with that. And that. Okay. And then we've got these. Wow, 85 subs on Twitch. Yeah, I mean, I'm just starting. It's not that bad, I guess. Again, it is what it is. So what do y'all think about the beige on black and the purple on black? I have 80. I don't have 85 subs on Twitch. I have 85 followers maybe on Twitch. I think I have 85 followers on Twitch. Subs are different than followers. Unless somebody came in there. You just got a bike and it's beige? That's interesting. I think the last bicycle I owned was cherry red. Like a metallic cherry red. Okay, and then we need you. We need a conjure. We need an altar. I need a 1U flux. Oh, I also need U flux. Where's my 1U flux? Ooh, I could use U. Yeah. Oh, awesome. I'll take a look. What do y'all think for the center function? The hand casting the spell or the brain? Think about it. I'm going to go find that shift key. I will leave you with music while I go look for a shift key that has escaped. Excuse me. Victory is mine. Okay. All right. Don't mind the cat here. But I survived. And I even found this. So we'll put brain here. We'll use spellcaster over there. I need a flux. No, I don't need a flux. I need an altar. And I need a conjure. you... Right. Look at that. That's not half bad. I wish I had small casts, but I don't. See, I did that. I pulled this off. I moved it to the other side, and now I realize that this one needs to be on that side to balance out the purple. The tolerances on my spellbook are really tight. These are not, these are clones. And that is, again, because they don't sell, Novelty does not sell spellbook anymore. I had spellbook before, and I gave it to a friend when he bought his first new desktop in a decade. And I thought he needed a good keyboard, and he bought a Freya 65, the glass keyboard made by Helheim. And so I'm like, hey man, you need a good keycap set. Which do you like? And I gave him some choices, and he's like, spellbook. I'm like, all right, spellbook it is. So I sent it to him, and he never used it. Let's take a look real quick at that bike. Because every bike deserves a bell. That's nice. Did you, well, I'm going to do a sound test real quick. And I might change out switches on here. But keep the same keycaps, because I kind of dig it. Alright, so let's go for a quick sound test. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all right. I don't know that it's 100% the right switches for this. And that's where these come in. So if you have not seen this, I put all my switches in Rubbermaid takeaway containers that you get at Dollar Tree for $2.50 for two. So they're $1.25 a piece, which is so much less than the containers that you get. Now, granted, they are Rubbermaid, but when I put them on my Kallax shelf, oh, and this is how I test switches, by the way. I replace first G and H because that's going to give us our highest pitch feedback. And then I'll replace the space bar, or in this case, bars. Yeah, much cheaper than any keyboard vendor. I mean, these things, You can put up to about 200 switches in each container, and they stack so well. You can fit 6 high and 2 sets of 2 inside a Kallax bookshelf cube. And so you can store essentially, what is that? 200 times 4 is 800 times 6 is like 5,600 switches in a. And by the way, I did recent math because of this, and I realized that I have about 12,000 switches. That's not a great number that my girlfriend wanted to hear. Let's see. Oh, and I have HMX cilantro on the way, or ACO cilantro switches on the way. So, even more switches coming, because that's how I roll. Which will be my first tactiles in years. It is, you know, it's a lot, but when you think about it, I buy 110, between 105 and 140 switches, depending on how they're available. The HMX Finickeys, for instance, were only available in groups of 70, and I bought 4 sets of these because I liked them so much. So, like, 280 switches, right? You know, in just HMX switches. Then you have some switches like these that I don't give as much play. And I still might not. It's got a softer sound, but I don't know if I like it, especially that space bar. This is what I like to call Switch Thunderdome. It's where I take a bunch of switches and I compare them to each other. To find the winner. So, next up in Switch Thunderdome, Gateron smoothies. Speed Silver smoothies, to be exact. Exactly. May the odds be ever in their favor. Okay. It's a little bit more muted, a little bit deeper. I like the spacebar better than I like the other one, but maybe not still there yet. Let's go back to the original switches, but with Spellbook. There we go. That's a thought. Before I have to go downstairs and find something like Eva's. Now, of course, this will once again kill our RGB if we use them, which is funny that they are the stock switches in here. But I understand that they're trying to push their zebra agenda through their switches. So far, the Finicky's HMX switches are kind of winning, but after all this switching, I'll probably have to retune these dabs, probably. No, I might go back to the original switches, but with Spellbook. This is not bad at all. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Well, the best switch was the first switch. And the best switch were the friends we made along the way. So we're going to pull the HMX Finicky's first encounter switches. We'll be replacing them with the Epomaker Zebra switches, which were the stock switches that came on it. They're a pre-lubed box switch that it's a standard. I mean, it's a basic switch. I mean, it's palm stem, PC top, nylon bottom, 45 gram actuation point. I mean, it is the boring of switches, but that's sometimes what you want. If I knew where my bluebirds were, I would try bluebirds in here. Because if you are interested in Epomaker switches, and there's not really a reason not to be. I mean, they're Epomaker doesn't make their own switches, just like Akko doesn't make their own switches. They outsource it, you know, just like the Cilantro switches that I'm getting are HMX, but they're Akko branded. The Akko mirror switches, which are fantastic. Even these are a collab between HMX and Finicky, so they're marked as Finicky's. There are very few actual switch makers. There's HMX, there's Huano, Gateron, obviously. Cherry is moving to China for their operations, for their production operations. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes. Who else? Jwick makes switches. So most of the switches that you see are going to actually be rebranded versions of that. Out of the Epomaker switches, the Wisteria switches, the ones I have back there, are pretty good. But again, nothing to really write home about. I spring swapped them to a heavier spring, and they sound all right, but I mean, they're starting to get a little long in the tooth. Like, they've been out for a while. A lot of people like the Leobog switches. I do not. I've tried a decent amount of them. The only one that people seem to like is that green stem one, Reapers. I haven't tried the Reaper switches, but like gray wood V3s and V4s, I didn't care for them. I think I ended up giving them away at a keyboard meetup. Because they're a cheap Switch, so it's not like I was really going to be able to sell them. It would have been a bigger... Why am I doing that? Would have been a bigger hassle for me to sell them than for me to give them away. And so I did. Because I'm all about supporting people in the community where I can. I am not a rich man. Not yet. And people will know when I become a rich man. Because I don't know. I don't know why. They'll just know. So after this, we're going to look at setting this keyboard up per the configuration that I was talking about earlier in Vivaya, because all of the Tide series keyboards are improperly set up for VIA and QMK. I say improperly, that's because they did not properly register with QMK or VIA, and therefore you have to use a JSON file. So we'll take a look at that. We'll do some programming. Well, not actual programming, but programming of the keyboard. I do not program, I script, barely. Mainly it's altering existing scripts. You know, like PowerShell. Yeah, that's the way to go. Let's try not to make them explode all over the place again. Oh, yeah, so Epomaker switches. I keep going off track, because why not? Probably my favorite Epomaker switch are Jade Blossoms. They are what I have currently in my QK100. And they sound great in there. I had gone away from them for a while, and recently I'm like, why don't I use these switches anymore? They're still so good. They're a full palm switch, which appeals to me. And because they're white and blue, and most of the keyboards I build are blue. Well, most of the keyboards I was building were blue. I now have a decent amount of purple. Right. like the fact that even with full foam, it still has a decent amount of flex. So this board, I think, goes for about 120. And again, it's useful because it has these 9 or 6 keys. The brackets, semicolon, apostrophe, the period, and the question mark keys or slash keys. Because that's probably one of the biggest problems I have with 40%. I can, with training, deal better with missing my number row than missing apostrophes and brackets and question marks and stuff like that. Because I do a lot more regular typing than I do with numbers. When I have numbers, I actually have a numpad that I can use. As a matter of fact, I have a Sea-Doo numpad that if you're looking for a budget numpad, is kind of the way to go. I mean, the C75 HE keyboard may be hot garbage, but that Sea-Doo numpad, and one to grow on. Let's get these keycaps back in. Brain. All right, silver smoothies, get out of the way. You guys lost. All right, and for the keys, also get out of the way. You're probably just going to go back onto the Key Cult 0 where you were. And here we go. This is the stock Epomaker Zebra switches with the Spellbook clone set. It's a good clone set, but it's still a clone set. You can tell the clone set because the F key is lower than the rest of the keys. Interesting fact. Fun fact. Your F key is lower than the rest. It's because of the way that it is printed, the way they stole the layout. I do mean stole. I do not agree with it. I tend not to get things that have the accents unless they're just not available anymore, because I'll buy a clone rather than buying an overpriced aftermarket set that is legitimate, because neither of which are paying the original maker. That's just me. Hot take maybe. So let's do a sound test. All right, there you go. Yeah, that's the the Tide49. Just take another look at the back weight. I think there might be, no, I managed to not get too many fingerprints on it yet. There I am, there's my sealing. It does say Epomaker. It does report that is a 3000 milliamp hour battery. So this is wireless, Bluetooth, and 2.4 gigahertz. There is a magnetic receptacle for the dongle right here. And then there's an on-off switch. So you'll see that the RGB glow now is not there as much. Let's go ahead and take a look at our Via. Okay. What do y'all think about my final choice on the switch keycap combination? I think it came out really well. Let's go to Via. So in order to use it in Via, you'll need to grab the JSON file, which is on their website. Download the JSON file. In this case, it's a zip file. In other cases, they have the raw JSON file that you download. But if you do that, what it'll do is it'll just put it in your browser, and then instead go back and then right-click and save link as, and it'll download the file. In this case, you don't need to. You can hit the button. It downloads it as a zip file. You undock the zip, then you add it. If you have not, you show design tab. You'll see that little paintbrush disappears. Show design tab. Then you load. I have a bunch in here. So we're going to select our Tide49. Can you really do a long space? I didn't even look. I don't want to, but it's nice to know. And then you come over to configure. It'll pop up a thing that you can't see right now that shows you the keyboard or keyboards if you have multiple keyboards connected. In some cases, you can have Wi-Fi connected keyboards that actually will interface with Via. But in this case, I have the Tide49. Hit OK. And now here is our first layer. So in the Via, or rather, in the Tide49, your 0, 1, and 2 layer are for Windows, but your 3, 4, and 5 layer are Mac mode. So you don't really want to mess with these in case you ever want to connect to a Mac. If you never want to connect to a Mac, it doesn't matter. But you'll see this is the default layout. Right now, we have this going to MO5. I do not want it going to MO5. Yeah, we don't want it to go. We want it to go to MO2. Oh, because it does. This goes to MO2, which is where we want it. This is a space. We don't want it. We go to layers. We're going to send the space bar, the middle key, to MO1. And if I'm going fast, let me know. So that is my only top layer change that I'm making. I think. Yes. I could send this straight to MO3. No. Yeah, no, that's all I want. So then we go to MO1. I don't know what MO stands for. Like move operator 1 or something. So in this case, we need to change that to the downward arrow so it pulls it from the next level up. Otherwise, when we hit it, it would not function properly. So MO1 has our function layer. We are going to change that so that it is media. Volume down, volume up, mute, stop, change that to play, change these to previous and next, and we are good here. And then on this one, we're actually going to move. Well, first of all, we're going to get rid of these. And then this is going to become our print screen. That's going to become home. And it's going to become page up. Then we're going to take hue, RGB mode, and bright plus, and basically effect speed, minus and plus. I don't know why they did it like this. That seems dumb. Go back here. And then we're going to go to our lighting. RGB mode plus, RGB mode minus, hue plus, hue minus, sat plus, sat minus, bright plus, bright minus. Oh, and effect speed. Effect speed minus. And this is all going to be on MO1, which will be controlled by this guy right here. So now, but we can control the lighting directly from here, which we're going to do. We're going to go to gradient up and down, and we're going to choose that. And when you're doing lighting effects, when you're using gradient, if gradient is available, and not all of these modes are available for all things, your effect speed controls how deep into the spectrum it's going to dive. So if your effect speed is way low, it's only going to use this part of the spectrum as the lighting, which is what we want in this case, because I want it to go from blue to purple to an almost pink. Sorry, I had the window open. There, kinda, you can see it. Again, the zebra switches. I mean, I understand there's zebras, their crazy zebra agenda. Does not let the RGB flow like the spice. Then once you're done building, you can also use the key tester. Fun thing with the key tester is that you can turn on sounds. That's not right. Oh. Nope. Start over. Here we go. Anyway. Uh-oh. Made it do a thing. Oh, I switched it. I switched it to 2.4 gigahertz. Anyway, that's it. I could almost play the Jeopardy theme on this thing, which is what I was trying for. Since it disconnected, it goes back to the authorized device. We can reauthorize it. Goes back in. We're good. The key tester works regardless of whether or not you have a JSON. So you can use it on things that you do not have a JSON file for. I use keyboardchecker.com, but you can do whatever you want. And that's it with the build. Does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to see? Anything that you want to talk about? We'll leave that there. I'm going to take the browser away because we don't need it anymore unless we're going to look at stuff like the agar. Or, hey, how about this? Because I love this project keyboard. So I took out my AE Boards Reds from my Salvation Geon monstrosity that I have. And instead, I put in the on-point DeHuck keys, or switches. So, now, how about this for a sound test? It's kind of weird. I mean, spacebar's not the best, but very solid sounding bottom out with no top out. But not a bad sound for a Hall effect at all, I don't think. And I could probably get it to go deeper with a bit more of not that resonance if I go ahead and put on some dye-sub like this. But you can definitely tell the difference there. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Unless anybody has any questions. Again, this was the Epomaker Tide49, the latest iteration in their Tide series of keyboards. It has a 21.8 inch or millimeter front, so it's kind of a tall boy, but and it has a 5-degree angle. It's a basic sort of box-on wedge, except for, you know, that wedge is kind of small. It has an interesting accent dip here in the back. I don't know what purpose it serves, if any, except for design. It has an accent reflective piece on the back of shiny aluminum with their name on it and different material, different information about the keyboard. It's 2.4 gigahertz with a magnetic receptacle in the back. It does include an on-off switch, so that when you travel with it, you can turn it off so that it conserves power. USB-C. It comes with a cable. It comes with a couple spares of Zebra Prelude Epomaker Zebra switches. These are the standard keycaps that come with it. These are dye-sub PBT. They're about 1.4 millimeters thick. Or, yeah, I think so. Let's try that again, just to make sure. 1.2 millimeters thick. No, about 1.4. That's right. And it is available through their website for like 120 bucks. It's an interesting 40% because it includes these 6 keys, which are normally omitted from a 40%, which is what I like about it, because it makes it easier to type your standard alphas in a daily thing. Then I have this configured to go to numbers. I have this configured to go to function row. So this is either 1 or F1 through plus minus or F12 here. And then I have my navigation cluster configured here on this, I believe. Or not. Yeah, I was right. That's my page up. Print screen, home, page up, and delete, page down, or end and page down. So you have your nav cluster right here, easily accessible when you need it. Takes a little getting used to, especially the short enter and single 1U backspace. But aside from that, it's pretty easy keyboard to use. It's a build. It has 4 screws in the bottom. It has PET sheet, PE sheet, plate foam, polycarbonate plate with flex cuts. It's a 1.2 millimeter flex cut PCB, which explains the flex that it has, which is harder to see right now, but it is there because my mat is very bouncy. But and then there is pour-on foam and a thicker PET sheet on the very bottom attached to the bottom of the PCB, which makes it act as sort of a tape mod. So all in all, you don't need to modify it. Again, with the exception of the keycaps, which are also die sub PBT, this is pretty much stock. We've just gone through it. We've made some changes. We tried different things. It works plateless. Not plateless. It works without plate foam, PE sheet or PET sheet. You can definitely run it without that, and it did not really have any ping. If you need force breaks, there are places to do force breaks here, 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 and here. Yeah, all good. I'm going to probably use this as a daily driver, at least for part of the day at work tomorrow, because that's what I do when I want to test out and see how I feel about the typing of a keyboard. Is I will go ahead and bring it into the office, try it out, because that's where I do all my typing. So the typing I do at home is mainly to you guys on Discord. If you're not on any of my Discord or on any of the Discords that I'm on with you, or that I'm on, then you should check them out. They're cool. That primarily is Keybroke and Stupid Bullets Tech. Is where I spend the majority of my keyboarding time. Anyway, that's it. Let's see if there's somebody I can raid for you guys. Does not look like there is. Let's see. Search. I'll need. I could go Bluetooth, but I'm just not gonna. Yeah, a bunch of 3D printer stuff and some crochet, it looks like, in the world. Or they're playing games. There's also somebody doing printing while feeding cats. Weird. Anyway, so we'll end the stream here. And I appreciate you all for joining me on this journey of exploration into the Epomaker Tide49. I definitely think it's a board worth your time. And if you want it, I believe it's available through Epomaker's website, or possibly even through Amazon. Yeah, have a great rest of your weekend, and happy Mother's Day.